Go.
All right, Bible Camp, I'd like to welcome you to our skit for today. And before we get started, I'd like to welcome you to our skit today. And before we get started, I'd like to congratulate the two that got to name our spacecraft for the skit today, the Shooting Star. I'd like to congratulate Timothy and Ava. Let's give a round of applause for Timothy and Ava. So we know that this week you guys have been learning about creation and how wonderfully everything was made by the Lord. So today's skit, we're going to be focusing on that a little bit. So as we go through our skit, remember that we need to be respectful to the people on the stage by listening and giving them our eyes. So if we can do that, I think that we'll have a great time and you guys can be a great audience, okay? So we're going to go ahead and start our story for this evening. One day, in the not-so-distant future, a couple of children and their school teacher prepared themselves for their field trip. The teacher said, "All right, children, today is the day you have been waiting for. We're going to start our solar system unit in science. To help us get ready for it, we'll be taking a field trip around the solar system. Now make sure to grab your spacesuit and equipment and get on the space shuttle." The children got their spacesuit and equipment ready and climbed into the space shuttle. Let's get ready to blast off. Let's count off with them, okay? 3, 2, 1, blast off! The space shuttle makes its way to the first stop and starts slowing down as it approaches the sun. Put on your special sunglasses. We don't want to go blind from staring at the sun. They all put on their sunglasses and the teacher tells them, "The sun is at the center of the solar system. It is so big that 1 million Earths could fit inside. Unfortunately, it's too hot for us to live on the sun. It's 5,778 degrees Kelvin." They all wave goodbye to the sun as the rocket blasts off to the next destination. Let's wave bye to the sun. Bye, sun.
Bye, sun.
When they arrive at Mercury, the teacher says, "While the sun is very big, Mercury, you may notice, is very small. Even though Mercury is the smallest and the closest planet to the sun, a day on Mercury lasts 176 Earth days." You might think you'd be able to use all that extra time to do fun things, like playing with all your toys or reading books, but don't get too excited because they would all melt. Mercury is the second hottest planet in the solar system. Let's say bye to Mercury as we blast off to our next destination. When the spaceship arrives at Venus, the teacher tells them, "Now Venus is an interesting planet. It is the second brightest object in the night sky, after the moon, of course. It is called the Earth's sister planet because they are similar in size and mass. However, it is also the hottest planet. There are no seasons on Venus, so it would be hot all the time. And you think Texas is bad?" They all wave goodbye and blast off to the next planet. Bye, Venus. The rocket descends at the moon. The children and the teacher get ready with their space equipment. They put on their helmets, they grab their bags as they're descending. The teacher says, "You might be familiar with the moon because it's in the night sky. But have you ever walked on the moon?" The children are excited. We'll be taking a quick break on the moon before we go on to Mars. Now, even though you may have seen the moon every night, here are some facts about the moon that you will think about every time you see it. The same side of the moon is always facing the Earth, so we never see the other side of the moon. The first man to land on the moon was Neil Armstrong in 1959. And finally, we weigh less on the moon, which is why we can jump so high. The children jump around and explore the moon. Something else that could ruin our fun is that there's no atmosphere, so meteorites could hit us. Look at all the craters around us, the big holes on the surface. The children get scared as the door opens, and they quickly get back into the spaceship. The teacher says, remove your helmets as the spaceship closes, and we are off to the next destination. Say goodbye to the moon. Goodbye. They arrive to Mars, and the teacher says, Mars is red because of the iron mixing with oxygen like rust. It also has the tallest mountain in the solar system, Olympus Mons, which is 16 miles high and 374 miles in diameter. Scientists have found liquid water on Mars, but it is salty. We would not be able to drink that water. So wave goodbye, and off we go. Bye, Mars. The space shuttle pulls up to a very big planet. The students are impressed at the size of this planet. The teacher says, this ginormous planet is Jupiter. It is the largest planet, as well as the fourth brightest object in the solar system. It has 67 moons and 4 rings. But the bad thing is that it has the shortest day of all the planets. There's not much time to do things on this planet. Now, if you look at the red spot below, that is the Great Red Spot. It is a huge hurricane storm that has lasted at least 150 years. And the winds blow up to around 200 miles per hour. Should we explore it? The children all shake their heads no in fear. And the teacher says, just kidding. It's time to move on anyway to our next planet. Say goodbye to Jupiter. Goodbye! As they pull up to Saturn, the teacher says, Saturn is the second largest planet and has at least 30 rings and 62 moons. The children are amazed and begin to count. Its atmosphere is made up of gases that are not good for us to breathe in. It also has a hurricane storm similar to Jupiter's Great Red Spot. As the children finish counting the rings, the spaceship takes off once again. See you later, Saturn. The space shuttle arrives at Uranus and the teacher tells them, Uranus also has 2 very dark set of rings. What makes Uranus different from the other planets is that it turns in the opposite direction than most of the other planets. It also takes 84 Earth years to go around the sun. So some parts of Uranus gets 42 years of sunlight, and the other parts get 42 years of darkness. So if you're scared of the dark, you will have a hard time. Everyone turns and looks at the last person on the bus. They're very scared of the dark. The teacher says, don't worry, we won't be staying. And the spaceship blasts off to the next planet. Bye, Uranus. Finally, at Neptune, the teacher tells the students, this is the last planet of the solar system. Neptune is the smallest planet and has about 14 moons. It has a gas called methane that takes in the red light in the atmosphere and makes the planet look blue. It also has very strong storms, so it is just as dangerous to live in as Jupiter. Don't worry, we definitely won't be staying here either. The spaceship blasts off to the next planet as they say goodbye to Neptune. The space shuttle continues forward and pulls up to a very small object. You might not realize it, but this little guy is Pluto. From 1930 to 2006, Pluto was considered to be the 9th planet in our solar system. until further research was done and it was classified as a dwarf planet, which isn't the same as a regular planet. It's very small, but it is the second largest dwarf planet in our solar system. Pluto was named by an 11-year-old schoolgirl named Venetia Burney, so even kids like you can help with new scientific discoveries. Let's say bye to Pluto. With Pluto being the last stop on the field trip, the space shuttle starts making its way back to Earth. The teacher says to the students, you know, even though there's still much to be discovered in the universe, and even though these planets are all very interesting, only one planet is the best place for man to live on, the Earth. The Lord created all the planets, as well as the sun and the moon, but He created the Earth specifically for man. He created the Earth just for you and me. He gave us the skies for us to see and the earth to stand on. He gave us the proper air to breathe and food to eat. The rocket descends to Earth as the children look around and appreciate how wonderful the Earth is. The teacher and the students get their space equipment as the door opens, putting on their helmets and grabbing their backpacks. They come down to realize that they've landed in a rainforest. The students are so amazed at all the different creatures, the monkeys, the insects, and chirping birds. They listen to the sounds of nature, the bubbling waterfall, the wind blowing through the trees. In awe, they take off their helmets and breathe in the fresh air. They are so glad that God made the earth for them. The teacher says, in Genesis 1:1, it says, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. And in Genesis 1:2-6, it says, and God said, let us make man in our image, according to our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of heaven, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps upon the earth. Also, it says in Genesis 2:7-8, that Jehovah God formed man from the dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. And man became a living soul. And Jehovah God planted a garden in Eden, in the east, and there He put the man whom He had formed. These verses show that the Lord created everything in the universe, including the earth and man. So let's all say hello to our wonderfully made home, the earth. Hello. The end.